This is Math 141, Practice Test 1, problem number 2. And we're given this function, and we're asked to find the vertex and the intercepts of it. And we know that it's a quadratic, so let's do the vertex first. One thing that I know about vertex, there's a couple things. I could complete the square, find it that way. Or I think I'm just going to use this negative b over 2a. Remember, this comes from that quadratic formula without the plus or minus part. So the x part of the vertex is this. That's like the middle. That's where the line of symmetry on the parabola is going to be. So it's going to give me the x part, how far over to the left it is. So in this case, b is 12, so it would be negative 12 over 2 times a. A is 2. So negative 12 over 4, that's a negative 3. So I know that the x part of the vertex is negative 3. So for the vertex so far, I know that x is negative 3. Let me get that negative in there. I need to figure out the y part. I can just take it and plug it back into the function. In other words, I'm going to evaluate g of negative 3. In other words, when x is negative 3, what's y? What's the output? So 2 times negative 3 squared plus 12 times negative 3 minus 10. So I'm going to have 2 times negative 3 squared. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Plus 12 times negative 3, negative 36. And then minus 10 more. 2 times 9 is 18. This is minus 36, minus 10. So I can throw these together. Let me see. 18 minus 36, that's negative 18. Negative 18 minus 10, negative 28. So my y part must be the point negative 28. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of space over here. Boom. Negative 28. So that's that part. So now let me do the x and y intercepts. The y-intercept is pretty simple, straightforward. The y-intercept is when x is 0, what's y? Well, let x be 0. This term goes to 0. This term goes to 0. It's just a negative 10. Okay, and then last part, x-intercepts. X-intercepts are when y is 0. So I'm going to let g of x be 0. Then I have this 2x squared plus 12x minus 10. And let's see, I could try and factor this. I could try and use quadratic formula as well. I think I'll try and factor it, just see if I can. Take a 2 out of it. That leaves me a 2. X squared plus 6x minus 5. I'm not going to be able to factor that, unfortunately. So, quadratic formula it is. I need a little bit of space for that. Allow me to erase. So, I might even change color just so we can see it. And what's interesting, when I go to find those zeros, I could use the 2, 12, and the negative 10, or I could use the 1, 6, and the 5. They'll give me the same zeros. But I'll just do it the long way. Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus squared. There it is, minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Keep going from here. Negative 12 plus or minus square root of, it's going to be over 4. 12 squared is 144. Negative times a positive times a negative. This will end up being positive. 4 plus 2 is 8. 8 times 10 is 80. So this is negative 12 plus or minus square root of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Looks like 224 over 4. So then now from here, what I'm going to have to do is try and break up that that radical as much as I can, and then maybe do some reducing. So just looking at one thing real quick. There it is. So I'm thinking about that 224. Let's see, I'm grabbing my calculator right now. I think 16 goes into it. 224 divided by 16 is 14. Yeah, it sure does. So this is a 16 times a 14. Those are both still being square rooted. So this becomes negative 12 plus or minus square root of 16 is 4 root 14 over 4. Notice these are both divisible by 4, so I'm going to do that. 4 goes into negative 12, give me a negative 3, plus or minus. 4 goes into 4 once, root 14. So that's where my x-intercepts are at. So officially, they're, if I want to write it right, they're the points negative 3 plus root 14, 0, and negative 3 minus root 14, 0. And there they are. I'm going to label them x-intercepts. And then just to help my person who's going to correct my test, circle that answer, circle that answer, circle's probably not the right term, and put something around that answer so it's easy to find.